everyone. All right. We are all back, and today we're going to be doing something kind of fun. Yes, hello, Ellie. Yeah, and I did see your message on Google Classroom. Class did start 3 minutes later today. Hope you guys didn't mind waiting. It was only 3 minutes. Just waiting for everyone to join. All right, and as usual, yes, greetings, salutations, salutations. Now people are gonna start typing Chinese in the chat for hi. Abby is here. Ryan is here. Ellie is here. Ellie is here. Sven is here. Yifan is here. Roger is here. Joshua is here. Kristen is here. Xing Xing is here. Let's see. And William's here. Gabriel is here too. All right, we have everyone. Yes, we have everyone. Alex has stopped coming to classes ago. All right then, let's start. Because today we have something that's, I guess, a lot more fun than what we were doing. Not to say that what we were doing was not fun. Cool, let me share my screen. All right. So, as you can see, I have made a Google form here, and it's called Answers, right? And so we live in a democracy, right? We live in a democracy, and that means that the truth is what the most people believe in, right? In a democracy, we vote on what the truth is. So in this case, I have a form here of many controversial questions. Questions that have never been answered before. And today we're going to answer them. But the beauty of this is that in our society, programmers have power, right? So instead of arguing about the answers to these, we have an intellectual debate, right? What is an intellectual debate? See, we're not going to argue about these. We're just going to have an intellectual debate. An intellectual debate is where programmers get together and they use their skills to submit as many responses to this form as they can, with programming, of course, not manually. And that's what we're going to learn today. We're going to use programming to submit responses to this form, and hopefully we'll get 5,000 or so by the end of this class. Hopefully more, hopefully more. The other class had only like 5 people and they got up to 5,000. I hope we can get like 10,000 or something. Yeah, so we don't need to argue about this. Whoever is better at programming is going to win. All right, so yeah, so without further ado, we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna make a new file. I'm gonna call this answers.py. Oh, wait, yeah, create a new file. Make a new file. I'm gonna call this answers.py. This is gonna be what we're doing today. And actually, today the code's not gonna be that long, right? For today, the code's gonna be about 20 lines. It's not gonna be as long as it was before. Okay, fine. Is ketchup a smoothie? There we go. All right, one more question. Good. You might have your opinions, but whoever is best at programming is going to win this time, this one. And have an intellectual debate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here. All right. Yeah. Good. So last class, we learned about GET requests, right? What is a GET request, right? Remember, we did request.get. GET request is just asking for information, right? So Poke API, remember, asking for information about Pokemon. That was pretty cool. Basically, most Pokemon were there, about what, 954. Today, we're going to talk about post requests. And right, GET requests are cool and all, but sometimes you need to give information. For example, like a Google form. You have to give information to the Google form, and you can't use a GET request for that, because in a GET request, information only goes one way, to you. Right, so in a post request is perfect for Google Forms. Right, so I hope I don't have to talk too much for this class, but there really isn't that much code. Most of it is just getting you guys to understand what's going on here, and it's pretty fun. We're gonna have a tournament, and it's gonna be amazing. So what I want everyone to do is go to this Google form, which I will put in Zoom chat. Right, go to this Google form. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to DevTools. We're going to go to DevTools. Right, so if you're on Chrome, all you do is press F12, or you do Control-Shift-I, also known as Inspect Element. If you're on Safari, you actually have to enable DevTools through your settings. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. DevTools. Right, so we're going to spend a lot of time here today. Actually, not a lot of time. We're going to spend like 15 minutes. So it's relatively important that you learn how to do this. It's going to help you a lot in the future. You go to Safari, Preferences, Advanced, and you select Show Develop menu in the menu bar. Right, so for Safari. That's how you open DevTools. Right. Everyone good? We're all good? This is the one part you have to know how to do today. I know a lot of people have Macs, right? And I have a Windows, right? You can submit if you want, but that's not the point, right? The point isn't to do it yourself, right? So open DevTools in Safari. Hope everyone's done that. Oh, okay. And I'm on Windows, so I have open DevTools here as well. If you're on Safari, you might see a lot of tabs. Or actually, whether or not you're on Windows or Safari, you're going to see a lot of tabs here. I want everyone to go to Network. We're going to all go to Network right now. How to open DevTools again? I don't know. Let's see what Google says. Open DevTools Safari. Develop, show web inspector right here. Right here. All right. I hope everyone sees this. We're going to spend a significant part of time here. There we go. Right, so Safari Preferences Advanced, that's how you enable it. And then you go back to Google Forms and you go to Develop Show Web Inspector. Again, this is for Safari. If you're on Firefox or Chrome or Opera or Microsoft Edge, don't know why you would use that, you just press F12 or FN F12, depending on your computer, or just right click and Control-Shift-I inspect. Cool, so let's all go to the Network tab. Network tab. If you're on Safari, there should be a plus button on the right side of the tabs. You just press the plus and there should be an option to go to Network. Right, so now that we're all on Network, let me explain a bit what this does. Basically, when you go to a website or when you send information to a website, you're basically doing a lot of requests, right? GET requests, POST requests, requests we haven't learned about yet. It's all requests. That's the whole internet. The whole internet is just requests. And what Network does is it records all of your requests that you have done so far. What we're going to do is we're going to manually submit a request to Google Form, and then we'll have the Network tab record our request for us. Then we can take this apart and we can see how it works. Right? This is the same for basically all websites. So I'm not just teaching you to write a Python program for Google Forms. You can use this for anything. All right, so I hope we're all on Network, right? We're all on Network. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep Network open, and I'm just going to select at random, right? Gosh, you have to go to preview. Yeah, so I'm going to go to network, keep DevTools open, keep it open, don't let it close. I'm just going to select that random. No, this doesn't represent my actual preferences. Submit. Okay, I hope you're all on network, right? And you can see here, a lot of requests happen, and this might seem a bit overwhelming at first, but it's all stuff that you understand, right? What do you know? Status. Status we learned last time. 200 means successful. In this case, everything is successful. You might have more things here. You might have less things here. That's just how the internet is. But what everyone does have in this list here is form response, right? So each row represents one request. And form response is the request that we're looking at. Because if you look at all these other ones, they're just for other things, right? Type. For me, for my website at least, 4 fonts have already been loaded. You don't need style sheets. Style sheets is just colors and shapes, useless. Script is like, right. William Wong is here. William Wong is here. Hope you can catch up. And you can always ask Alan if you're behind. Or yeah, maybe he disconnected. I think he disconnected. He was here earlier. All right. Right, so form response, that's what I'm looking at. That's what's really useful. That's what we're looking after. All right, so if I click into this, I'm going to get a lot of meaningless jumble. Response is not where I want to be. So there's more tabs that show up. I want to go to headers. Right, to go to headers. All right, I hope everyone's with me. This is a little bit tricky. The other class had trouble. Right, I'm gonna go to headers here. I'm just gonna give a second for everyone to acclimate. Yeah, so what we did is we just submitted to the Google form and we had network record the post request for us. Again, post request is a request where you send information to a website. And you can see here underneath headers, there's a lot of information that we understand. For example, request URL. That's the URL that we are sending information to. Request method, post. That just means we're sending information and we're not getting information. Status code 200 means successful. Right, this is stuff we understand. You might not know everything, but at least now you have some kind of insight into what's happening. Get headers again. All right, that's a good question, fair question. Go to form response right here. Inside the network tab, go to form response. It's one of the requests. Each row is a request. You click into it and it should pop a new window. It should pop a new window. Yeah, click form response, and then inside of form response, there should be a headers tab right here. So if you're using Safari, it might be in a different location, but it's there. It is definitely there. I tested all of this before class started. Headers right here. Right, and you can see stuff that you understand, right? Request URL, request method, status code. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. We're going to go to headers and we're going to scroll down all the way down. And look, here's form data. Right, I'm going to scroll down. I'm still in headers. I'm just going to scroll down and look, form data. This is what we just submitted. This is what's happening behind the scenes when you submit to Google Forms. Right, actually, if you're in Firefox, you might not see form data underneath headers. If you're in Firefox, you might have to go to response. Right, but for Safari and Chrome, it should be underneath headers. Right, and Edge uses the same engine as Chrome, so it's the same. All right, form data right here. This is what's happening behind the scenes. This is what we're sending to Google. And right, so now we've taken apart this request. Or we can see it's a post request, and this is the data we're sending to Google. And when we start to spam this form, this is what we're going to do in Python, right? Cool, Ellie got it. That's nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up. I'm going to go back to the top of headers. I'm going to go to headers and scroll all the way up. And cool. I'm glad that people are getting this. That's very fun. When we start spamming it, it's going to be super fun. Right, I'm going to go to request URL, right? And I'm going to copy this. You can't actually, yeah, you have to hold down your mouse and highlight to copy this. How do you go to tab you're in? Are you talking about the network tab or the headers tab? right? So it's in form response. That's where we are right now. You can ask Alan if you're behind, because I want to help you guys, but I'm talking at the same time, so I can't really split my attention to two places. Sorry. Request URL. I'm going to copy request URL, and you can't actually copy this the regular way. You have to highlight it. You have to hold down your mouse and highlight it. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to my Python file, and I'm going to make a variable. So it's just convenient. I'm going to make a variable called URL. I'm going to URL equals open quote, because this is not a variable. This is actually words, characters, like this. Like this. Okay, I'll give everyone a sec. And again, you're not copying the URL in your search bar. You're not copying the URL at the very, very top of your browser. You're copying the URL from DevTools. They are different. They are different, and it will not work if you do the wrong one. And you good. Ellie sent it in the chat. That's good. I can see it end in form response. That's how you know if you're doing it right. It should end in form response. Yes. Good. Right. This is just for convenience. This is the request URL. That is the URL that we're going to send information to. And yes, Ryan has sent it again. So it's double certification. Okay, good. Now let's just do what we did yesterday. This is stuff you guys know, right? Hopefully if you're paying attention, right? And I hope you do pay attention today, because you'll miss out. You'll miss out on a very great opportunity. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna import requests, obviously. Let me go back to the top. Yeah, same for everyone, because the form is the same, right? The form doesn't change for different people. Form is always the same. The URLs doesn't change. Although I can't guarantee that for everything else we do in this class. Yeah, but this is the same. So I'm gonna import requests, just like yesterday. I'm gonna go here, and I'm just gonna make a request like yesterday. Do requests, request dots. Oh, maybe Roger disconnected. Yeah, Alan can help you. We're gonna do request dot. We're not gonna get anymore. I know we did get yesterday. Today we're gonna post, because we're sending information. We're gonna post today. And you might have guessed this, right? We're gonna put in the URL. Just like yesterday. And of course, just like yesterday, we're gonna do take the response from this request. Right, so the response tells you whether it was successful or not. Okay, Roger, just so that you have a visual, what we did really fast was we went to this link, this Google Forms link. We went to DevTools, and we figured out how the Google form works, right? How you send information to the form. And basically we found all this cool information like request URL, request method, and we also found what your browser is actually sending, right? Form data. Yeah, that's what we're doing. The code should be the same. And you have to remember that URL is not the URL in your search bar. It's a URL that we found inside DevTools, and that should be in the chat. I think Ryan and Ellie both sent it. Yeah, there you go. We're gonna do this. Except. This time we're posting. We're not getting. We're posting. We've got to send. Yeah, Tristan sent it again. We're posting. We've got to send information. So this is not enough right here. Request.post URL. That's not enough. We have to have some sort of information in here to send. So I'm gonna go to the line above post. I'm gonna go to line above post. And I'm going to make a new variable called send information. Right, and this next part is going to be a little bit tedious, but not hard. It's not going to be hard. It's just going to be a little bit tedious. Send information is just going to be a dictionary of all the information we're sending. Right. So if you remember, what was the information we sent? What was the information we sent? Right here. Go back to DevTools. You go to form data. Right. Again, if you're in Firefox, you have to go to response, but I'm in Chrome. So I'm going to go to headers. If you're in Safari, you should go to headers too. Scroll all the way down. Form data. That is what we're sending. So I'm going to take this and copy it. I'm just gonna copy the yeses though, like just the first 5 lines. Just the first 5 lines. Because I know that these first 5 lines represent my choices, which are all yes. I'm not sure what everything else means. Or like obviously I know what they mean, but for the sake of teaching this class, we're just gonna assume we don't know what they mean. So we're not gonna copy them. We're just gonna see if the first 5 lines are sufficient to do what we need to do. All right, so I'm just gonna copy the first 5 rows. Yes, 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 yes. That's what I'm getting. Now I'm gonna copy these and put them into my program right after send information. Right. So I'll actually paste this in the chat right here. Actually, I'm gonna make a new line here. Yeah, that's better. Make a new line. Good. And some of you might be like, wait, but that's not Python. That's just some random data you copy somewhere. That's not Python. You can't just run this. That's right. So we've got to take this data and make it into a format that Python can understand. So yeah, this next part, I'm just gonna add some characters. You don't have to know what they mean. Just take my word for it. Just gonna make it into JSON. Right, so I'm gonna add a bracket to the beginning, an open bracket to the beginning, and a close bracket to the end. So all 5 of these rows that start with entry, that is gonna be one paragraph. I'm gonna open bracket the paragraph and close bracket the paragraph. Okay, and then now I'm gonna put all the entries and all of the numbers that come after the entry in quotation marks. Or leave out the colon, leave out the colon. All right, now I'll paste this somewhere after I'm done. This is just tedious. You don't have to know what this means. We're just converting it to JSON, converting it to something Python can understand somewhat. And I'm gonna put all the yeses in quotes. Yeah, all the yeses go in quotes, leave out the colon. Colons do not go in quotes. Colons are just colons. Yeah, they're just colons, they're too cool for that. This, and then lastly, actually I'll let you guys finish typing. It should look like this. And yeah, I'm gonna put commas after every yes. I'm gonna put commas after all the yeses, right after the quotation mark. There you go. And you should not get errors, right? It should look like this, right here. Valid syntax. Good. Yeah. So after the yes and the quotation mark that comes after the yes, I'm going to add 1 comma. Yeah. Yeah. And also no comma on the last line. It's just a Python thing. Yeah. So it looks kind of like a list of things, which is what it is basically. That's basically what JSON is. Yeah, so it looks like this. A lot of the time people miss one character. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, no comma on the last line, because commas only come between 2 things, right? Yeah. That's good. I'm surprised that people are understanding this. Yeah, the other class had a lot of problems. Yeah, just like that, right? With the exception of the comma on the last line, you can copy paste what Ellie just put on the chat. So like this. Yeah, and do you remember to have brackets? So it looks like this. If you're confused, look at my screen. Give you guys a few minutes to copy paste this, or to actually write it yourself. Yeah, today's lesson isn't going to have that much code. Yes, that's right. That's right, Ellie. Don't put the last comma. Commas always come between 2 things. Never put a comma at the end. I'll give you guys a minute. The reason why keeping your cameras on is so good is that I can see how many people are confused. Because after a while, you start to be able to tell what is a confused face and what is not a confused face. Okay, yeah, that's a good question, Joshua. Yeah, so obviously, once we get started, I'll say this again after we get started, but you can't just spam these forever. Google has some almighty algorithm that decides whether something is spam or not spam. But I tried this before class, and you can still do a few thousand, so it's fine. You can still do a few thousand. You just have to do it in intervals. Yeah, like don't send them like as fast as you can. Send them like once every half a second. Yeah, I hope we get to 10,000 today. 10,000 responses. Let's make that a goal. 10,000 responses by the end of class. All right. Yeah, I said that earlier. 10,000, that's our goal. I said that at the start of class. All right. We're going to have an intellectual debate. This is what intellectual debates are. It is organized quorum of programmers who undergo a voting system to decide things. Right? That's intellectual debate. Desktop not Flash. You must be a Zoom thing. Oh yeah, and the anonymous. Not anymore. No, that's weird. And the anonymous person who was putting rectangles on my screen. Don't do that. I know who you are. Zoom has logs. When you end the meeting, you can look through the logs. As long as it's not a constant problem. Yeah, it's not flashing anymore. That's good. Right, cool. So now that I have the information to be sent, I'm going to take the send information variable and put it right after URL. I'm going to be like data equals send information. And so we have not learned what data equals means. Yeah, we learned that you know, it means what you think it means. You're just going to make the data equal to send information, right? Just like this. Not very hard. Not very hard. Like this. Good. Someone did the math. Everyone has to send at least 843. Although if you run this, if you open multiple VS codes and you run this simultaneously, you'll get more speed. Right. Okay. I'll repeat this after we get started. This will all make sense soon. Okay, and then of course, yeah, it'll still work on Rebel. Don't worry. Then of course, internet is never reliable, right? As you know, it's never reliable. So we always have to check whether our requests came out correct or not correct. So we're gonna do if not, response.status code equals 200. And again, 2 equal signs because Python. Right, again, status code, when status code is 200, it means successful. There are other status codes like 404, which you guys know. 404 means not found, right? 418 means I'm a teapot. Yeah, this is a form that works without sign-in. If someone makes a form that requires sign-in, then this will get a lot more complicated, but still possible. Still possible, but it's just harder. Yeah. Okay, and if status code is not 200, I'm just going to print error, bad. Good. And this is also the reason why Irvington does not use Google Forms anymore. All right, good. Okay, this works. Well, you guys can figure it out. You guys are smart. You can stay after class and ask me. You can stay after class. I'll tell you. Right, then I'm just gonna try to run this. Right. Cool. Did not get any error. Did not get any error. All right. Now what I can do is I can go to this Google form and check. See. Oh wow. All right, 23 responses already. Cool. All right, that's good. We're getting somewhere, but we still need to get to 10,000, which is a lot more than this. Yes. Good. I'm gonna go back to the code, and if you haven't realized this already, these yeses are your choices on the form. So if you want to answer no to something, you just change this yes to a no. That's all it is. All right, cool. Cool, so when we run this program, it submits once. submits one response to the form, right? 24, now it's 25. And if I do another one, it's gonna be 26. Yeah, right now it's 28, good, right? But we're programmers, right? It's still kind of tedious to have to run this program every time we wanna respond. So you guys know what a while true loop is? We learned that a long time ago, right? While true loop. So yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna do while true, go forever. Yeah. No. And again, remember to indent. Don't forget to indent. Here we go. While true. While true. All right. And again, these yeses don't represent my opinion. They're just for the sake of example, right? So while true. Here we go. All right. It's going up. Every time it updates, it goes up by about 10. Last class, it went up by 48 every time it updated. So you guys are going to have to be a lot smarter than this. How do you make it faster? How do you make this faster? Yeah, sure. Here's the code. Not even that much code. So, right, I just want everyone to get the hang of this first. Then I can start talking about how to make it faster. Okay, yeah, Joshua suggests make an FPS clock. That's a good solution, but not a working solution. Right, and here's the code. I'm not gonna put this on a doc because it's just 20 lines. So it's only 20 lines. You guys can do this by yourself. All right. So I'm just gonna. I hope you got the code. Yeah, I hope Tristan has all the code down. All right, I'll keep this up here. 278. Good. This is good. I like this. All right, Tristan needs more. He needs more. He doesn't have enough. He needs more. He's addicted. Yeah, he needs more code. He feeds on the code. Yeah, and once he rebuilds his former power, he's gonna usher in 1,000 years of darkness. CD desktop. Oh, because you're already in desktop, Ellie. You're already in C users Ellie desktop. Yeah, so you don't have to CD desktop. Why is Ryan saying no? Here, I'll put this on the share screen so you guys can see it. We're at 368, which is good, but not good enough. Faster, guys. We need to go faster at 404. All right. We're not even at 1,000, and we need 10,000. Make this go fast. Okay. Looks like a hot dog is a sandwich, right? This is tentative estimates. Hot dog is a sandwich. Ketchup is a smoothie. Is water wet? Okay, are you guys just answering yes because the example code was yes? Well, you guys can change these, right? You know, okay. Ellie is nodding. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you guys can make your own opinions. No, Ellie, what do we say about the while true loops? Programmers hate repeating themselves. And what you're doing is you're repeating yourself. Every time you press up enter, you're repeating yourself. That's not good. That's not smart. You can put it in a while true loop, right? And basically, for the text event, yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, you know how, yeah, you know while true loops, you're smart. Good, so now that everyone's getting the hang of this, I'm gonna put this on, right, 815, that's good. Let's talk about how to make this faster, right? So what is making our code slow right now? What is the main bottleneck? Main bottleneck is that whenever you do request.post, right? Whenever you do a post request, it's got to send a message to the website. It's got to wait until the website responds. So that's the main reason why the program is slow, because it's waiting most of the time. Right, checking response status code, doing send information, that takes 0 time. That's super fast, instant. The big delay here is doing post. And actually, you can put send information outside of your loop to not be redundant, right, like that. right? And so you might ask, well, is there any way you can send out multiple requests to the website and not have to wait for it to come back? Well, there is. It's called threading. Cool, yeah, we got to 1,000. Congrats, guys. Right, and it's called threading, but we're probably not going to do that today. It's kind of advanced. We can stay after class, though, if you want me to explain that. But the best way to make it faster now is just to open up multiple VS codes and run them all simultaneously. Okay, on the last class, one person made it go up by 48 every time it updated, like 48 a second, right? And you guys are only going up by 27, and there's 13 people here, so we've got to go faster. All right, faster way, the way to make it faster, open up multiple VS codes, but yeah, if your PC is gonna crash, then don't do it. Obviously, don't want your PC to crash, because that means you can't submit more responses, right? Good. Looks like there is a small but persistent faction fighting back against hot dog is not a sandwich. Oh look, it's getting bigger. They're fighting. They're fighting their way back. Hot dog is not a sandwich. Okay. Or yeah, and there's a very strong faction fighting the no's. Like they're putting no's and they're fighting the yeses. Yeah, yeah, they're getting bigger. But so far, all of the yeses still have majority. Yeah, they're fighting back. And just because I like to watch the world burn, I'm just gonna join the nodes for a second. Right then, around this point, oh dang, around this point is when people start getting error codes. Around this point is when you start getting status codes that are like 404 or what's it? Someone got 49496. When because right now we're submitting requests like nonstop, right, in a while true loop. This is going as fast as it can, and Google's going to start stopping you because it's obviously spam. And so you're going to start getting error codes. Yeah, and that's right. Just do it slower. The way Google works is that if you go too fast, it will lock you out for 5 seconds or a minute. And so you just have to wait that amount of time before you start again. Oh yeah, and it might be good just to print something every time you cycle around, like print responded, to print responded. Well, you know what they say, the tortoise that won the race. Yeah. Yeah. So I just made it print responded every time it responds, like this. Or I'll keep this all on the share screen. We're at 2,259. Okay, good. Everyone's getting a hang of this, right? If you're behind or you're stuck or you lost us when we talked about the dev tools, have to speak up because the rest of this class is going to depend on that. All right. All right. I can scroll down if you guys want to. Here you go. Yeah, so it looks like the people, the no people are really pushing back, right? They're almost at 50 on these, right? Oh, cool. They just reached 46 on is water wet, so it's 4%. Difference of 4%. You guys really have to start fighting back, right? The yeses have to start fighting back for water is wet. Cool. Wait, actually, could multiple people share screen? Can you try sharing screen so we can have two screens going at once? So I can show the code and you can share. Can't. Yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad. You guys see this? There we go. All right, I'll do it like this. I'm gonna make this really small. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's better. All right, you guys can see that. There you go. Does it automatically do it if you have run on? What does that mean? Run on what? No, right, it does, it's while true. It goes forever until you stop your program. So that's why I'm saying you guys should add this print here. You should add a print inside your while loop so you know how many times, like when it's updating. Yeah. Instead of just getting nothing. Yours doesn't work. Yeah, I do know there is a share multiple screens option, but I don't own this Zoom meeting. IVMax does, so I can't edit the settings. Yeah, there is an option for that. Okay, good. So now as an exercise, what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the form. Oh, really? Oh, really? Then, Alan, could you try doing multiple share screens now? Yeah, here we go. Share the pie chart, the number of responses and the pie chart. Yeah, thanks, Alan. What I'm going to do is just to test understanding as an exercise, very fun exercise. I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add one more. It's like, do you know what's going on? Yes, no. So I just added one more question just to test you guys, just to see if you really know how to do this forms thing. All right, so you're going to have to modify your code to account for the last option. All right. All right. Right, we're at 3,811. Do you know what's going on? Yeah, one person knows what's going on. Two people know. Yeah. I bet they're doing it manually once so they can check it under DevTools. That's what's happening. Yeah. Good. Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. Some people know what's going on. Yes. Good. Good. So I only see 4 people here. All right. Probably what they're doing is they're, okay, good. Yes, but actually no. That makes 5 people. Come on, there are 13 people in this class. This is a simple exercise, just to test your understanding. See if you can actually. Okay. 6 responses. There we go. That's about half. About half. We have 12 students actually because Alice isn't here. Is that all? Is it just 6 people? Who knows? right? You got to go to DevTools. You manually submit once, right? And then you go to network, you go to form responses, scroll all the way down and look at form data. Form data is where you can find the number for the entry. Okay, 7 people. Yes, and that is Tristan. Okay, 8. That's not bad. Don't know if the same people coming back or is it new people. We'll do this for like, I don't know, 10 to 15 more minutes, and then we can talk about the next thing. But the competition is still on. We will tally up the results by next class, which is on Wednesday. So by Wednesday, we'll have the truth. Yeah, and people are really fighting. Global warming is real, but it's soon going to be not real. The Earth is still flat. The Earth is still okay. Now it's both. Okay, now it's both. All right, and water is not wet anymore. Looks like the people are fighting back. All right, ketchup is still a smoothie, yes, and hot dog is a sandwich. Right, and global warming is very close to becoming not real, but right now it's still real. All right, and we've got 4,876 responses. I'm gonna stop this. Can you guys see Alan's screen? Is Alan's screen showing the leaderboard right now? Yes. Okay, you guys see the leaderboard. So I'm gonna get rid of the one on my screen. Good. That's good. I didn't know you could edit the settings. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Thanks, Alan. Wait, Ellie can't. Alan is sharing his screen. You should be able to click into it. Let me stop mine. Can't see it. Never mind. Okay, Ellie says never mind. Yeah, let me see if I can see Alan's screen. Yeah, I can see Alan's screen. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Alan. Yeah. No, but you see if he zooms in, then he'll have to keep scrolling, which is kind of tedious. Or what you do is you could do 2 windows side by side. One window can show the top and one can show the bottom. Yeah. This is pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of people know what's going on now. Okay, look, I have a feeling that these are all manual responses for do you know what's going on? Right? Until you start actually spamming this, you have not finished the exercise. The exercise is to add it to your program, not do it manually. Yeah, what the heck? All right. There we go. Yeah, we'll do this for about like 5 minutes. Right, look, I have 5,000 responses for the other ones, but no one is spamming the do you know what's going on? Okay, that's the exercise right now. Right? Okay, looks like someone is okay. How do you do that? You can't see the bottom. So a few minutes ago, I added one more question to the doc, which you guys can see. You guys can see the doc, you just can't see the results. I added a question called, do you know what's going on? And what we're supposed to do right now is to modify your code so you can start spamming that question. And that's how I'll know whether you guys really understand what I'm trying to explain here, or are you just copying my code? Okay, good. Looks like that makes sense. Yeah, we're at 6,000 responses. Yeah, you still got the whole week to do this. All right, yeah, we'll give it a few more minutes. Right now, now all of the no's, the no team, the no faction has won all of the pie charts. And similarly, if I were to add a question that was not yes or no, if I were to add a question that was like number line, right? For example, how many hours of sleep do you get? Let's say 1 to 8. That should be pretty realistic. 1 to 8. All you have to do is put in a number, right? It's the same. No matter what type of input this is, you just have to put in like a possible answer. Right? There's nothing special between numbers and yes or no. Just remember to put it in quotes. Just put other. No, I think 1 to 8 hours pretty much covers it for sleep. Yeah. Oh wow, 15. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, guys. Yeah. So most people get 8. 3 people get 1. Or I'm just looking at responses. These are not people. Yeah. I think 8 is a very realistic number. No one sleeps more than 8 hours, right? If your friends are telling you they get a healthy night's sleep, well, in this day and age, I don't think that's very feasible. Right, Ryan says he sleeps for 9 hours. Okay, I'm making a joke here. I'm making a joke about how no one really has time to sleep. Oh yeah, I had the problem too, Alan. That's fine. Yeah. Or yeah, the no faction is winning over. You guys should try submitting 10 to hours of sleep. Try submitting 10 as an option and see if it shows up, or if it doesn't let you do that. Yeah, I can. Thanks, Tristan. Yeah, see, doing it yourself, that's always a good thing. If you just listen to me talk about code, you're never going to learn the code. You have to actually type it yourself. Okay, yeah, 2 more minutes, then we can move on to the next thing. You guys can keep spamming, but I'm also going to teach class. Right. What I'm going to do after class ends is I will make a Google Sheet for the responses and share it with everyone. I'll put it on Google Classroom. And it's going to have a number for each response so you guys can see. Right, because you obviously can't access this right here, the pie charts. It looks like someone has put their form data as one of the responses. Yeah, Bob is your friend. That's pretty cool. I'm sure Bob is a nice guy. All right, it's 5:59. Right, then we can move on. Right, you can keep spamming. And Alan may be willing to keep the screen going. It's up to you. But we can move on now, right? Right, let's move on. So obviously this is very fun, right? I'm sure a lot of you had a lot of fun spamming the sheet, but you have to remember that with great power comes great responsibility, right? When you're a programmer, you get to do a lot more things that sometimes aren't meant to happen, like having 7,000 responses on a Google form. And so when you program, you have to do it responsibly. Sometimes it's okay to spam a Google Sheet if you have permission, like right now. Sometimes it's fine if you clearly, absolutely know that it's okay to do so, right? And this is where the gray area kind of comes in, right? Don't do this to like troll people. Don't do it to just because you want to watch the world burn. Sometimes forms are very important, right? And it's not just forms, right? Sometimes other things that require post requests are very important, and you shouldn't spam that. Right? It's just not a good thing to do. You can get in really big trouble if you do it, right? But it's still good that you know how to do this, right? This is a good thing as long as you don't use it to, right? As long as you don't use it to annoy other people. Okay. Cool. The competition will obviously end Wednesday, next class. But yeah, I'll keep going. Yeah, we're at 8,000 responses, very close to 10,000. Proud of you guys. 10,000 is a good number. Okay. Then the next topic we're going to talk about is, oh wow, someone just pasted. Okay. The next topic we're going to talk about is how do you save images, right? So we're going to go back to GET requests. We're going to go back to GET requests here. And so far from our GET requests, all we have acquired is information, right? Like a JSON. We've just gotten Pokemon stats. I hope you've done your homework. Pokemon stats, weight, or the names of Pokemon. But like I said last class, with GET requests, you can get all sorts of information. Anything that can be transmitted over the internet, you can get from a GET request. So other than just JSON files and numbers, that means you can also get images, right? You can get images, you can get web pages. So what we're gonna do here, what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna make a new file, make another file, and I'm gonna call it save image. Save image.py, and we're going to learn how to save images through GET requests. Right. So for example, if you want to make a Pokédex, then you'll have to have images of your Pokemon. Right, and this may or may not be on the homework, so it's just for you to practice, right? Just for you to know more about how this stuff works. Right, but as long as you are in this class, you should listen. Let me put the comments back out so I can see them. All right. Yeah, I know you guys can't see the comments, but the empty space here is the comments window for me. So of course, I'm going to import requests again, and I'm going to go back to PokeAPI. I'm going to go back to PokeAPI.co. I'll put the link in the chat once again. Can't see my screen. Let me stop share and start share again. Yes. I'm going to share again. Yes, and it looks like Alan still has the leaderboard up. It's very good. Oh, how do you switch screens? You just click on my face. Just click on my face. Yeah. How? Well, there's you can see people's faces, right? There's a bar where it shows people's faces. All right, and you can scroll on, yeah. Then you just click on my face, and there should be an option to look at my screen. And you can switch back and forth, of course, right? I don't see it. Okay, if your Zoom is full screen, make it not full screen. Right, that might be the problem. And then you can see there's a bar with a lot of people's face, never full screen. Well then, yeah, there should be a bar with people's faces. You might not see my face, you should see someone's face, and you can scroll. You can scroll up and down or left and right. And when you get to my face, just click on my face. Right, gallery, yeah, gallery view works too. Right, whatever view works. Yeah, there you guys go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Ellie. Yeah. So I'm gonna save files, right? If you go back to Poke API and you scroll down, you can see there's something called sprites. And if you were paying attention, then you'll know that sprites basically mean an image of a character, right? That's what sprites are. If you scroll down near the bottom, there's a folder called sprites, right? I'm at pokeapi.cl right now. This is the information for Ditto. You can open up the sprites folder. And you can see a lot of these different sprites for Ditto, right? There's back, there's shiny, there's female versions. But for now, I'm just going to take front default. And you can see here, the value of front default is a link to an image of Ditto, of course. So what I can do just to test is I can copy the link and just put it in my search bar. And you can see here, I get a Ditto image. So we know this is possible. Still don't know how to see the screen. Alan, could you unshare for a sec so it pops back to mine? Because Xing is having problems with connection. I'm sure a lot of other people are too. If you unshare and reshare, then it should pop back to mine. Right, hopefully that fixes the problem, right? So what I've done here is, cool, that's good. What I've done here is I've just looked for the URL to the sprite image of Ditto, and you can see if you put the URL in your search bar, you get an image, which is good. So first, we need to get the URL. So I made a new file here in case you're confused, right? The new file, import request, of course. First, we need to get information about Ditto so we can find the URL. So it's 2 layers of gets here. So I'm going to do basically what we have been doing. So once again, I'm going to get, here we go, response.get, and no fancy stuff this time. This is not a post, this is just a get. So I'm just going to do this URL right here, pokeapi.co/api/v2/Pokemon name. I'll just do Ditto because it's a good all-around Pokemon. And of course, I've got to put the response into a variable. Request. I keep messing those up. Request.get, sorry guys. Right, so request.get and then the URL. And the response I am going to be putting into a variable response. And like always, you always want to check if not response. Always want to check if it was successful. This should not. As code equals 200. Right, then just print error bad. There we go. What is that? right? And then just once again, just like we learned last class, I'm going to access the URL of here. So it's in the folder called sprites, and the dictionary entry is called front default. This shouldn't be very hard. First, we've got to convert the response content, or to convert the content back into a format that Python can understand. So we have to import JSON for that. This is stuff we did last time. Nothing new, right? It's very simple. So I'm going to say Python friendly, or actually we called it a dictionary, right? Dictionary. Say dictionary of front default. And I'm going to say, or actually, sorry. Front default goes here, and sprites is the first one. And double check. Yep, folder is called sprites, and the dictionary entry is called front default. I'm just gonna real quick print that out, see if it works. Python. There we go. Requests is not defined requests. Oh, there you go. All right, that works. That works. Right, I have the URL here printed out. So real quick, just for convenience, I'm going to save this to a variable. I'm going to say image URL equals dictionary sprites front default. And I'm going to do a second GET request. I'm going to do a second GET request, basically copy pasting the code above. Just copy pasting these lines, right? Lines 13, actually lines 15 to 18 is what I'm going to copy paste. And we're not going to get ditto anymore. We're going to get image URL. Right, we're going to check for status code, but now there is no point in converting this into a dictionary because it's not a dictionary, because now we're getting an image. So you can't convert this. Right, before we were receiving a JSON, which is basically just structured information. And when you have a JSON, you can convert it to a Python object. But now all we have is an image. So we can't really view it. We could view it, but it's going to take a lot more work. So what we can do is we can save it to our computer and view it just with an image opener. All right, so there are two parts to writing every file. First, you have to open it. Right. First, you have to open a file before you write to it. So I'm going to say open. And first argument is going to be a string of what I want to save the file as. So I'm just going to say Pokemon picture.png. Right. Pokemon picture.png. I'm going to add a comma. And the second argument is kind of interesting. It's actually from C. It's actually something that people do in C, and we're just going to put WB. Right? It's asking us for the mode in which we want to open, or we haven't learned this yet, so it's okay to be a little bit confused. WB just means open the file, clear everything, and prepare it to be written into. Right? So it's gonna clear the whole file, whatever it was before, gone. Right, I'm gonna say file equals open this file, and then I'm gonna do file dot write, right? So I open a file and I save it into a Python file object. This represents a file, and then I can take this file and I'm going to write to it. Basically, I can just write response.content. And some of you might be like, wait, when we open the file, we have to close it again. And you're right, because if you leave the file open, your computer is going to be holding on to precious memory that you can use otherwise. Other people can use, other processes on your computer can use. So I'm going to say file.close. Right. Don't forget the parentheses. Close is a function, which means it's something you can do. All right. And let's see if it gives any errors. Good, no errors. Hopefully that worked. If you look in the same folder as your, okay, wow. If you look in the same folder as your Python file, in my case, it's in desktop Python programs, right? Same folder as your Python file. Just see something called Pokemon image, Pokemon picture, right? Whatever you named it. Open it, and ta-da, there you go. Oh wow, 10K, congrats guys. Congrats, we reached 10K. And there you go, right here. All right, picture of a Pokemon. All right, so it's in the same folder as where you have your Python file. And the the beautiful part of this is I can put all of this code in a function so we can use it later. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say function called get Pokemon picture and then Pokemon name, because we're getting the picture of a specific Pokemon. You have to specify what Pokemon do you want. Colon, and everything that goes inside this function gets indented. Yeah, don't forget your indents. Don't forget your indents. And here, instead of just hard coding the ditto, I'm going to get rid of ditto and add whatever the value of the variable Pokemon name is. So I can go back down here, get Pokemon picture, let's say Pikachu. Yeah, I'll post this code. I won't post the spam code. The spam code is very simple. It's just 20 lines. I won't post that. It's up to you to make the spam code very fast. Yes, but this code I will post. Yeah, here you go. All I did was make a function and put all the code we just wrote inside the function, right? So this is how you save images. It's the one last missing piece to the puzzle of the API topic. One thing we haven't learned yet. And it's not just pictures that you can save. If you get request a JSON, you can save it as a TXT. Yeah, Joshua, basically it downloads it. I can get Pokemon picture, and I can check my folders again. Right, Pokemon picture.png. Yes, I do have a Pikachu, right? Because if you remember, when we open the file, everything gets cleared. Right, so you don't have to make multiple. If you want to make multiple, that's perfectly fine. If you want to make multiple, all you have to do is change this name right here. If you don't want to override the old one, just change the name. You can change it to something that's dependent on Pokemon name, right? Like a Pikachu picture or Ditto picture. I don't think missing no is part of this actually. That would be a fun picture to have. Yeah, gives me an error. It doesn't exist. If you guys don't know, missing no is a glitch Pokemon that you can find in the old, I think it was like Nintendo DS. It was a glitch Pokemon you could find. Mewtwo. See if Mewtwo is here. Okay. Stop. Programs. Yeah, there we go. There's a Mewtwo. And these are not very high quality, but they're wonderfully made pixel art, right? So every pixel has been decided, colored by a professional, so it looks very good. It's not just a bad quality picture. It's because back then on the Nintendo DS, space was very conserved. There wasn't a lot of memory, so the images had to be small, and the screen couldn't display high quality images either, so it didn't make sense. Okay, so anyways, here's a Mewtwo. What a big Pokemon, Gyarados. How do they fit the big Pokemon into small pictures? I'm interested. Wait, that's not a Gyarados. Yeah, is it Gear? Well, 10,264. Okay, that's how you spell it. Here it is. Doesn't exist. That's weird. That's weird. What we can do is we can go back to pokeapi.co and do it manually. Oh, okay. Resource not found. Wait, how do you spell it? Guy. Redus. There you go. There you go. That it is. And does it have a sprites? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right. What we can do, let's do that. All right. Yes, lots of Pokemon experts in the chat giving spelling advice there. Yeah. So wonderfully made pixel art. Each pixel thoughtfully placed. And yes, if you're interested, you can import Pygame. You can import Pygame and do pygame.image.load so you can display the image. You can do that if you're interested. Right, so what you can do is you can have a function called display Pokemon. And what it does is it does all these GET requests to save the image, and then it opens the image again with Pygame. That's definitely possible. I have the code for that. So it would be pretty cool if someone did that, right? Rayquaza. Okay, there we go, Rayquaza. Okay, it's like this recurring Pokemon. It's frequently requested that I can't pronounce. Regigigas. All right, let me check again. Yeah, there we go. How about Dragonite? Let's see if Dragonite is here. Yeah. There we go. Dragonite. Very cute, actually. And very fat. Unknown. Is that a Pokemon? Is Unknown a Pokemon? Alright. Cool. This one looks a little bit blurry. I'm not sure why. It looks blurry. It's not pixel art. This looks like it was downscaled from a bigger image. Oh. Unknown. That's Pokemon. Let's see. See if it's a real Pokemon. Oh, cool. Looks like a protractor. Mimikyu isn't here. We tried that last time. I'm not sure why. I do have the card for Mimikyu. I have it in my collection. Yeah, and that's it for today. We went a lot faster than I thought we would go. Everyone knew what was going on today, so even though it's only 6:23, class is over. Yeah, we can be early sometimes. Class is over. If you're interested in how to make your program faster, if you want to know how to display images, or just have general questions, you can stay behind. But anyways, class is over. I hope you have fun today. The competition's still going. We'll tally everything next Wednesday. And I'll share the Google Doc, Google Sheet for responses. The competition for this is the competition, the leaderboard. Yeah, bye Ryan, bye Ellie. Bye guys, I hope you had fun today. That's what's important. Oh, how many? 11,000 and counting. Right. Right, we're just gonna see what the truth is. We just want to know what the truth is, like yes or no. If you want me to add more questions, you can do suggestions in Google Classroom. I do read those comments. If I think you make a good suggestion, I'll add it to the sheet, to the Google form. Yeah, bye guys. Hope you had fun. If you have any questions, you can stay behind, of course. Yeah, I do agree, Tristan. I will put more. Definitely be fun. Yeah, looks like the Yes team, the Yes faction is reclaiming their land. Yeah, most people know what's going on, right? 3,664 people know what's going on. Yeah. So I'm assuming everyone who's still here has questions. All right, class is over. All right, cool. I'll unshare my screen. Okay, Joshua, no, we're still recording. Thanks. Recording has been stopped.